From special effects problems to actors experiencing medical issues, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince was an intense experience. But just how crazy and wild was it behind the scenes? Sit back, grab some butterbeer, and prepare to find out.
I'm the Half-Blood Prince.
I'm sure you had nightmares like the rest of us watching the Inferi climbing out of their watery grave in the Half-Blood Prince. I mean, how couldn't you? There's no denying that these creatures are super spooky, but bringing them to life was a challenge. You see, the filmmakers didn't just want to create any old undead creatures. They wanted the Inferi to feel unique. And while it took them a minute to figure out how to present them, the visual effects team were instructed on what not to do beforehand. Here's what the visual effects supervisor told the Los Angeles Times about bringing the scary rascals to life. Director David Yates was really cautious of not making this into a zombie movie. So we were constantly trying to figure out how not to make these dead people coming up look like zombies. A lot of it came down to their movement. They don't move fast, but they don't move really slow or groan and moan. However, when it came to the film's visual effects, creating the Quidditch sequences proved to be more of a challenge than making monster magic happen. Since the actors couldn't actually fly around on broomsticks, they had to be given their own digital doubles. Naturally, that was a complicated process. Remember that scene where Ginny flies around doing barrel rolls like a boss? That took 6 months to complete, as the effects team needed to make Bonnie Wright's uncanny valley self look as authentic as possible. Visual effects magician Nicholas Aithati described the work as a battle, but they got the job done in the end. That being said, the Quidditch scenes were also difficult to shoot for the actors themselves, mainly because sitting on a broomstick for hours and hours took its toll on their bodies.
Balance is very, very difficult, and also certain very, very important organs are crushed.
Comfort.
And yeah, so the comfort levels are not high.
Daniel Radcliffe was probably exaggerating though, right? How hard can it be to get paid millions of dollars to sit on a stick all day? According to Rupert Grint, it's extremely difficult.
It's because you are actually just sitting on a broom, and it does, when you're up there for a few hours, it does quite get a bit painful, and but no, it's going to look really cool.
Rupert also had to work hard to become Hogwarts' next big Quidditch star, which involved weeks of trampoline training.
It just get harder because they put you in this harness, right? And you're on these like bungee springs. Okay. I don't know if you're going to be doing.
It seems that Rupert wasn't a big fan of exercising, but at least he wasn't psychologically tormented throughout the shoot. The same can't be said about Daniel Radcliffe. In an interview with The Guardian back in 2009, the actor revealed that he had a recurring dream while making the Half-Blood Prince. But what was it all about, I hear you ask? Well, basically, Daniel kept dreaming that he was falling off tall buildings and landing on trampolines. The actor said that he thought his subconsciousness might have been trying to tell him something, though he didn't know what. However, an alternative theory could be that he saw his boy Rupert Grint bouncing on the trampoline during his Quidditch training, and it scarred him for life. Or maybe he was nervous about having to smooch a co-star? Daniel Radcliffe was no stranger to making out with co-stars on the screen by the time the Half-Blood Prince rolled around. But kissing Bonnie Wright was a new experience, and these things are never easy. Fortunately, the pair were able to put that awkwardness behind them and act like pros. Here you can see them at work.
One of mine.
Unfortunately, the pair of them did feel weird about the whole thing. Bonnie was actually surprised when she read the script and realized that she'd have to snog the boy wizard.
People kind of always go, oh, did you expect that to happen? Did you always think that? And I was completely shocked when
And actually going through with it was even more bizarre.
It was weird. I've never done anything kind of on film like that.
Daniel, on the other hand, just wasn't happy with his performance. So much so that he felt the need to critique his own skills and apologize to his colleague in an interview with MovieWeb. "My lips are like the lips of a horse. They're like distending independently away from my face and trying to encompass hers. So I apologize, Bonnie." Then again, Daniel has a few regrets about this movie. He's gone on record to say that he can't stand watching it because he thinks he got too complacent and delivered a lazy, one-note performance. We think he's being too hard on himself, but we'll take his word for it when he compared his kissing to a horse. Of course, the other big romance in the Half-Blood Prince involves Ron and Lavender Brown. It's one of the movie's more outright entertaining storylines, but that doesn't mean it was free from criticism, and not because fans wanted to see Ron and Hermione together instead.
What's she doing here? I might ask you the same question. I happen to be his girlfriend. I happen to be his friend.
Prior to Jessie Cave being cast as Ron's love interest, the character was played by Kathleen Colley and Jennifer Smith. Replacing two black actors with a white performer led to accusations of whitewashing. However, director David Yates explained that they saw a variety of actresses and chose the one who had the most chemistry with Rupert.
Because it's a chemical thing, you know, you really want to feel that chemistry between them, and that'll help me decide.
Despite the controversy surrounding her casting, however, Jessie has fond memories of working on the Half-Blood Prince.
The whole thing, it just feels like this hazy, joyous cloud of things, but I was just so thrilled to be on the set and to have got the job.
It's much easier to cast bit part characters than a central hero, but that was almost the case going into the Half-Blood Prince. Similar to her experience heading into the Order of the Phoenix, Emma Watson thought about quitting the franchise and retiring from acting. In an interview with Newsweek, the actress said that each film was a massive undertaking and she wasn't sure if she had more in her. It seemed that she wanted to focus on her education and have a normal life for a while.
Bonnie, cookies ready, darling.
Coming, Mom.
The filmmakers were worried that she'd part ways with the series, too. Producer David Heyman noted that it would have disrupted their plans, though they would have respected her wishes. But she stuck around, and the rest is history. Alan Rickman also had some issues behind the scenes that saw him questioning his role in the franchise. The actor was vocal about some of his concerns dating all the way back to the Chamber of Secrets, but it seemed that he had differences with opinion with director David Yates while working together on the Half-Blood Prince. In a note which he titled "Inside Snape's Head" that was discovered following Alan's death, Alan discussed feeling worried about the movie's appeal among teen audiences, stating that David wasn't taking that part seriously enough. David Yates didn't have anything negative to say about working with Alan, though. In fact, the director told the Los Angeles Times that he was a lovely guy, despite being pretty intimidating because, well, he could be pretty scary.
Turn to page 394.
But if there's one thing that Harry Potter stars had in common, it was putting their worries to one side and getting the job done. And this notion applied to actress Maggie Smith more than anyone. Much like Professor McGonagall, Maggie is a complete badass who doesn't back down from a fight. During the production of The Half-Blood Prince, she was going through chemotherapy treatment for breast cancer, which was a massive struggle for the actress. According to Maggie, there were days where she had to hold on to railings just to keep herself up. Understandably, this also led to her thinking that she wasn't up to the task of working on a massive movie. However, Maggie kept on trucking and delivered a great performance.
Enjoying ourselves, are we?
Maggie didn't lose her sense of humor either. While recounting the experience in a 2009 interview, she described herself as a boiled egg due to the fact that she didn't have any hair. She had to wear a wig as a result, which she said she had no problem wearing. Maggie is kicking ass these days as well, and her acting career is still going strong. She has since returned to the stage and will be in the upcoming Downton Abbey sequel, so expect to see her on your screen again very soon. If you like this video, check out some of the most magical behind-the-scenes secrets from the Order of the Phoenix as well.